Global royals made a strong presence at the UN's Grand Gathering this year, with 14 of them in attendance. The United Nations, a stage where world leaders debate and decide, has seen an unexpected influx of royal figures this year. A parade of princes, princesses, kings and queens, each representing their nation, their people and their culture. It's like a grand royal gala, except with political implications and global decisions on the line. Among these illustrious figures, there was a noticeable gap, a pair who we might have expected to see, yet were conspicuously absent. Yes, we're talking about William and Kate, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. Despite the significant royal turnout, they chose to stay off this global stage, leaving many to wonder about the reasons behind their absence. Was it a simple matter of scheduling conflicts, or is there a deeper narrative at play? After all, their absence certainly didn't go unnoticed. In this grand tableau of royal representation, their vacant spot was as conspicuous as a missing jewel in a crown. But as they say, when one door closes, another opens. And in this case, it was a door opened by none other than Harry and Sussex. While William and Kate chose to stay away, Harry and Sussex stepped up, stepping out onto the global stage with a confidence and presence that was hard to ignore. They were out there, connecting with people, engaging in meaningful dialogues, and making an impact in ways that matter. Their presence was felt, their voices heard, and their actions noted. In their own way, they were out there making a difference. And isn't that what royalty is about? It's not just about titles and crowns, but about people and causes. It's about leading by example, about showing up when it matters, about making a difference. And while William and Kate chose to stay off the stage, Harry and Sussex were out there making a difference. Harry and Sussex were not just present, they were connecting with people in meaningful ways. While the world was transfixed on the royal spectacle at the United Nations, Harry and Sussex were quietly going about their business. But don't mistake their subtlety for insignificance, my dear listeners. Their presence was felt wherever they went, and their actions spoke louder than any royal protocol could ever dictate. In the hustle and bustle of their commitments, they made time to meet and connect with those who needed it most. They were seen, not from the distance of a royal balcony or the confines of a motorcade, but up close and personal, engaging with people in a way that was entirely their own. Their interactions were not just about shaking hands or exchanging pleasantries. They were about listening and understanding, about empathy and compassion. In their meetings, they were not just royals. They were advocates, allies, and friends. Harry and Sussex were not just seen in the glitz and glamour of high-profile events. They were there in the quiet corners, in the places that often go unnoticed. They were in the schools and hospitals, the community centres, and the local businesses. They were where they could make a real difference, where they could bring attention to issues that often go unheard. They were not just making appearances, they were making an impact. They were not just present, they were present in the lives of the people they met. They were not just seen, they were felt. Their presence was not just about being in a place, it was about being part of the conversation, part of the solution. Their approach was a refreshing departure from the usual royal script. It was an approach that was as much about the people they met as it was about them. It was an approach that was about making a difference, not just making a statement. Their work was impactful and they were showing up where it truly mattered. As if on cue, the Wales family made an appearance with their children. This scene unfolded just as the world was starting to notice their absence from the UN's big gathering. The timing was impeccable, almost too perfect, sparking whispers and raised eyebrows across the globe. Now, the Waleses are no strangers to the public eye, but the timing of this particular appearance felt different. There was an air of calculation about it, a sense of careful choreography that didn't quite align with their usual spontaneous family outings. It was as though they'd been waiting in the wings, watching the world's royals take the stage, only to step into the spotlight at the precise moment when their absence was most noticeable. The whole affair had an air of meticulous planning about it, a sort of royal precision that seemed to go beyond mere coincidence. And then there were the children brought along for the ride, adding an extra layer of intrigue to the spectacle. Their presence, while endearing to many, added to the sense of a carefully staged event. It was as if the children were the final piece of a puzzle, a charming distraction designed to soften any criticism and generate positive headlines. The weather, too, seemed to be in on the plan. A perfect day, not a cloud in sight, a backdrop that only served to enhance the spectacle and ensure the Wales family's appearance would not go unnoticed. But what if the weather hadn't played along? What if it had rained or been too windy? The spectacle would have fallen flat, the choreography exposed. It's interesting to ponder, isn't it? The whole event felt less like a spontaneous family moment and more like a carefully choreographed bid to generate headlines. As the world watched, one couldn't help but wonder, was this a genuine family outing, or a calculated move by the Wales family to regain control of the narrative? The Wales family was lucky the weather didn't spoil their plan, or the spectacle would have fallen flat. The spectacle of a royal family outing, especially one as meticulously planned as this, relies heavily on factors that are, quite literally, beyond their control, the weather being a prime example. Imagine, if you will, the scene had the skies decided to open up that day. The charming tableau of the Wales family, smiling and waving, would have been replaced by a frantic scramble for umbrellas and shelter. The children, rather than looking joyous and carefree, might have appeared distressed, their outfits ruined by the rain. It would have been a public relations nightmare, to say the least, and all their careful planning would have been for naught. Even a less dramatic change in weather could have impacted the narrative they were trying to create. A gloomy, overcast day might have cast a pall over the proceedings, making their appearance seem less cheerful and more sombre. And let's not forget the impact on the photographs, the lifeblood of any public appearance. The right lighting can make or break a photograph, and thus the story it tells. But they were fortunate. The day was perfect, bright and sunny, casting the Wales family in a warm, inviting light. It allowed them to present the image they wanted to the world, a happy, united family spending quality time together. It was a masterstroke of public relations, one that could have easily gone awry if the weather had not cooperated. But was it just a strategy, a well-executed plan to control the narrative and divert attention from their absence at the UN gathering? Or was it a genuine moment of family bonding, a chance for them to step away from their royal duties and just be a family? As with most things involving the royal family, the truth likely lies somewhere in between. It's safe to say, however, that they were lucky the weather didn't spoil the plan, or the spectacle would have fallen flat. So, was this about family bonding, or was it about controlling the narrative? It's a question that's been buzzing around like a persistent fly since the Waleses made their appearance at the United Nations gathering, a question that refuses to be swatted away, clinging to the air with the tenacity of a summer heat wave. There's no denying that the timing was impeccable. As if orchestrated by an unseen conductor, the Waleses made their entrance just as the world's attention was diverted. A family moment, beautifully captured and immediately broadcast for the world to see. But was it a genuine moment of togetherness? Or was it a calculated move, devised to steal the spotlight and shift the narrative? When we look at the Wales' actions, what do we see? A family enjoying a day out, or a meticulously planned performance? A spontaneous decision to step into the public eye, or a strategic maneuver to seize control of the conversation? Of course, we must remember that the royal family has always been under the microscope. Every move they make is scrutinised, every word they say analysed. It's a pressure that's difficult to fathom. So it's entirely possible that what we saw was simply a family trying to navigate the complexities of their unique existence. Yet, the question lingers, stubbornly refusing to be dismissed. It's a question that goes beyond the Waleses. It's a question that digs into the very heart of royalty and celebrity, of public life and private moments. A question that asks us to consider how much of what we see is genuine and how much is a carefully crafted narrative. That's the question hanging in the air. What do you think?